I got a couple things I want to talk about. I already brought up both of them to you guys, but the first one being the rumor that they're trying to remake The Last of Us for PS5.
Oh, yeah. Why?
I don't really understand that.
So I know you guys haven't played it. Great game. I think it did crazy things for just the game industry. Like, people joked that it was like a movie.
For Naughty Dog.
Well, for Naughty Dog too.
They were like, hey, we're tired of making fucking
Crash,
Jack 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's a good game, and the story's really good. It is a PS3 game, so it does feel a little bit dated with the environments and the systems and stuff. I feel like Last of Us 2 upgraded a lot.
Well, they already remade it, you said?
So
this would be a double remake?
Yeah, so it came out on PS3, I think like the end of PS3, and they had a remastered for PS4, which I don't really know what they changed. I played the remastered one. I never played the original, but they took like the character models that were in the cutscenes and made it the character models the whole game, so it looked a lot better than the PS3 version, because you know how the CG like cutscenes will be
way
better,
different looking.
Yeah. So it looked really good, and you know, again, the gameplay, like, it's pretty simple, watered down. It's a third-person cover shooter, stealth stuff, you know, zombies, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And then they've had like updates, I think, for PS4 Pro. I think it just got an update that it can be played in 60 FPS now on, I don't know if it's PS5 or whatever, all kinds of stuff. And but The Last of Us 2 came out last year. They're making a Last of Us TV show. I don't know exactly. There's a lot of stuff that I was trying to read about, and I didn't get into it too far, so I'm going to butcher what's going on. But there was something with like a studio that wanted to, within Sony, was trying to make it, and I don't know exactly if it's going to happen. But it's not Naughty Dog, except for I think Naughty Dog came into the picture, and maybe they are working on it. I don't really know. I don't really care.
For the TV show or for the actual
remake of the game. Okay. The show, I know, like Neil Druckmann, the director of Last of Us, is going to help with the show. But anyways, what I really wanted to get at is not that if that's happening or not. I don't think it needs to happen. It's not that old of a game. It's crazy to bring a PS3 original game that was also on PS4 onto the PS5, whatever. But I do think it's interesting that, and this is kind of what I was thinking about with the Godzilla cinematic universe, that franchises just do better than new IPs or standalone titles and stuff like that. So
they don't want to take risks on new shit.
Yeah, and
I get it.
But I feel like this age of like remasters and remakes and shit, like, it seems so crazy to me that we're getting something only. I mean, it is fairly old, I guess, but
not
like,
even.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that seems weird, right? And I don't know why every game has to be some kind of.
That's what I'm saying too. I mean, I don't get it. Like,
I mean, so
there's a million Godzilla movies.
You know, Demon Souls was a PS3 game, and it launched with a PS5 as one of the big titles or whatever. But I will say, it looks so much fucking better. And I feel like that I can kind of understand.
Do you think it was worth the remake, or is it a remake or an upgrade or whatever?
Yeah, it is. But I just feel like I can. So I feel like I'm maybe lying to myself when I say PS3 isn't that old. But I just feel like maybe because it got the PS4, I don't know. It just seems weird, and I don't know. Like, do you guys even look out when you see a remake or remaster? Are you like, oh shit? Because I see them a lot of times. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, but I'm never hyped about it.
I can't remember the last time. Steve? I can't remember the last time there was a remake that was for a game that I really loved. To be honest with you, like Final Fantasy VII, not really into that game. That got a remake.
The Master Chief Collection was pretty nice.
Yeah, but you know,
that's mostly like
I really only liked Halo 3, to be honest.
I mean, besides Halo 1's like remaster when that happened. I mean, most of those are basically just ports. I mean, maybe they're upscaled and stuff. I guess they're
not really remasters.
Because I feel like a remake to me is a remaster is updating like resolution, frame rate. Maybe it's better graphics, like what they did with The Last of Us. They had the assets and they made it look better with those cutscene models. But a remake, something like Final Fantasy VII remake. Okay, I was hyped because that's totally different. Yeah. They didn't even just take the same combat and world and just make a new one. That's reimagining essentially. is that what they would do with The Last of Us Part 1 if they made it like entirely different?
It's all graphical, right?
I don't know. I mean, we don't know anything yet, but I'm thinking unless they totally do like a new version, like they don't just take the set pieces from the first one and rebuild them in a new engine. If they do something entirely different with the same plot, or at least the main beats, that could be cool.
Like, you know what I think would be a cool remake? Would be like the original Metal Gear Solid games. Like,
yeah.
I think that's never gonna happen.
It's probably not gonna happen, but I'm just saying, like, those original, I think, like 1 and 2, like whichever the first 2 were, like those were groundbreaking, like fucking chart-topping games.
Well, hold on a second. You're like 1 and 2, whichever the first 2.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, no, I know.
Is it 1 and 2? Well,
Metal Gear Solid, and then 2 was Snake Eater, I think. But it's just the spot.
The first one was
beside the point.
Colonel. Yeah. What? You can do it, Colonel.
I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick. And the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Dude, we do need that.
Yeah.
Colonel.
I know.
For those that don't know, the fucking voice
actor, TikTok.
The voice actor of Solid Snake. Someone asked him, "Dude, was it like some kind of like 4chan like
I can
thread
pull it up
or something
on here so people can hear it?"
The fucking voice actor
Colonel
read this fucking meme out, and it's so funny because he does it in the Snake voice.
Here we go.
David Hayter.
It's gonna be wobbled, dude.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Dude, he does it.
It's better without the wobble for sure,
man.
to be honest.
Colonel.
I just love that.
Yeah, but I mean that could be cool. I do feel like, but a PS1 game, like the way what they could do with those, like Final Fantasy VII,
all the games,
totally reimagine it would be very cool.
All the games that I want to be remade, like, are games that are never gonna get remade.
Like Banjo-Tooie.
I want, like, well, yeah, but like, this is such a stupid one. But Need for Speed Underground 2, I love that fucking game.
See, that's something though where I feel like
it's never gonna fucking happen.
For something like that though, is there a point in remaking 2 specifically, or could they just make a good Need for Speed game?
Well, dude, the thing about it was, and I'm not gonna talk about this for long. Need for Speed Underground 1 was not open world. You probably remember that one.
Yeah.
Where you like had the car and it was driving down the tunnel, and that's where it was.
We've talked about 2 a bit before.
Yeah, and the second one was all open world. It was always nighttime, and there was these different. It was I think the first like open world racing game like that. Hot Pursuit might have done that. I can't remember, but it was like an amazing soundtrack. Like the art style for like the cutscenes were kind of shit. They were trying to look like comic books or some shit. It looked horrible, but the game is fucking fun, and the way the arcade driving is that perfect mix of sim and arcade, and like that game had such a specific feel outside of those games.
Yeah.
That I would love to see it remade, because now I plug it in even with an HDMI like converter adapter for the PS2, and it's fucking like really blurry. Like, it's soft.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I will say is
that's what I would pick.
My take on it being that it's a racing game. I don't see why they couldn't do another open world racing game.
Yeah.
Need for Speed, whatever, that might get you the same feel. But at the same time, I probably would have thought the same way about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 before that remake got announced, because I was like, well, why couldn't they make another one that's good? But for the nostalgic factor that people don't want another one that's good. Will there ever be one as good as 1 and 2? Why not just remake 1 and 2? So maybe you're right, but
where do you look to get a game's score?
Metacritic's
is that usually
normally
the best?
Reasonable.
It's
curious. An aggregate, so it's.
I just want to see if like maybe I'm just fucking crazy.
I'm sure it's
82, 8.6 user score. I mean, look, I thought it was a really. It's one of those ones. Like, I mean, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. I think almost has like a 100 on Metascore.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, I mean, we might have talked about that before, but like, yeah, it's just these diamonds in the rough. And I don't know. I wish, it's funny. I typed in NFSU2 and it was like remastered. So it's listening to us.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I don't know. I just feel like, I think remakes have a place, but sometimes it's companies, it's a safe bet. So they get money out of it or whatever, knowing that people will buy into it. But unless it's like a reimagining type deal, I feel like it's kind of annoying, because you could just port them And with some stuff, backwards compatibility for PlayStation has been an issue, but with backwards compatibility being so easy, what's the point, right? Like, why are you doing that? And for a lot of games on PC, it's a ripoff when a new one comes out. Like when Dark Souls Remastered came out, they actually offered the people that already own Dark Souls on PC like half price or whatever to get the new version, because you could already be playing it with mods that made it look almost as good or whatever, right? So they know that it's kind of cheap, and they ended up taking off the original one off of like Steam and stuff. If you own it, you can still download it, but stuff like that is where it's just graphical. Like, people don't really care that much when you can continue to play the copy you have.
What's your pipe dream remaster? If you could have one game that's probably never going to see the light of day on a remaster, what would it be, both of you?
Honestly, I don't know why, because I feel like I wouldn't really want them to change
I've done that like 4 times.
The combat or anything, but fucking Final Fantasy Tactics or even Advance. I just feel like I would
You guys like suck that game off.
Yeah,
it's really a great game, dude.
I like the original
it's
more.
A fucking great game.
Than Advance.
But
we played Advance for but I just feel like those games are great, and I would love to see like a very
you guys are cringe pilled about that game, dude.
High fidelity, like graphical release of a game like that, because most tactics games are always like
16-bit type games.
Yeah, like not sprite based or something where they're not great graphics. If they could make a remastered where it was like you're on a fucking battlefield, you got the big 3D models of the characters, it looks dope, cool fight animations.
I just feel like it would look like what's the Three Houses game?
Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem. That's how I feel like. That's how I imagine it would look.
Even that would be cool, but I would like something even more. I know it's not a good. I don't know that you guys would know, but a game to reference. But I want to imagine something like Valkyria Chronicles is a tactical game, but it's a little bit different. You got
so that's
guns
both yours pick?
No. I'd probably say like.
But that's yours.
I think so, because when I think about old games that I really like, I mean that's definitely a fun one. Give me a minute and see if there's something better I have.
I would probably say like Oblivion or like the Mega Man Zero games, but the Mega Man Zero games I feel like fit the 16-bit type aesthetic.
I would like a better like screen ratio for those games though, because they're made for the Game Boy Advance where your character model is huge.
They did remake them for Switch, and there were still borders. But you are zoomed in a lot in those games.
And that was, I think, part of why those were some of the hardest games, because you
couldn't see what was coming
on the screen, and all of a sudden there's fucking enemies. Bad guys or pits or whatever.
Dude, Mega Man Zero or like that series 1 through 4 is probably some of the hardest games I've ever played, like hands down. And they made them a little easier.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That game was fucking hard as shit too, but no, Mega Man for some reason like it was shitty because like when I played it for Game Boy Advance when I first got 1 through 4, like if you died, you had to start the whole level over, like immediately. You get to the boss, die, and have to start the whole level over, and like you could die like 7 times just trying to get to the fucking boss. But they got the re-release of them for Switch, and they did add like a save state mode where you could like get to certain points and save the game.
Yeah.
Normally, right before the boss, there'd be a save state. But
you think Oblivion? Oblivion would benefit from a I mean,
it looks shitty, dude.
I mean, it looks bad, make it but look better. I mean, and it's like kind of glowy. But
I mean, they made what was it, Sky Oblivion, where they tried to remake, or they're still working on it, right, to remake the whole game with Skyrim type graphics.
Yeah.
Well, so this is where we go into what I was talking about, where when it's not like a reimagining, I don't really give a shit, right?
Yeah.
If it's just better graphics, I mean, that's cool, but I feel like if they added some new systems or something, I don't really know. Even Tactics might not be a good example because the type of gameplay those games have, I don't really know how you update it in any way. But
yeah, I think I guess when I say remake, I mean more just a graphic,
which is
update.
Fine, and that's why I say I feel like Tactics would be a cool one. I'd like to see that, and not like these shitty sprite animations and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, most games I don't really know that I need a remake for. Honestly.
Yeah, I just would love to see certain games the way that I saw them when I was younger, like. you know, when I think
the
about
rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about those games, I remembered them being a lot sharper, and they fucking weren't. I mean, they were really not sharp at all.
I know I definitely didn't save it, but I saw a meme on Reddit, I'm sure, on like fucking the gaming subreddit or whatever, that was like, when Half-Life, the original one, came out, and it was pretty not great graphics by today's standards, but it was 3D. Everyone's like, wow, so realistic. And then it was like the next shooter or whatever, and it's like, okay, I mean, it's kind of like pixelated, fuzzy graphics, you know, not super real. And now people are like, dude, fuck, I can't handle these graphics on my computer. Like, once we progress past when it was 3D and new and cool, there's been like always something to complain about. Like, it's not realistic enough. And now that we're getting close to realism, it's like, I can't even fucking play these games on those settings, you know? Like, we have decent computers, and you can't play like some of the best games at 4K, 60 FPS, make it look super real.